lesson number 1 of Math Rescue. You have some sheets, should have some sheets in front of you. Data sheet 1A, see that? And we're going to go through that and it won't take very long. It's the hippopotamus rule, which says you can only add and subtract like things. Apples to apples, oranges to oranges, bananas to bananas, and hippopotamuses to hippopotamuses, and that's why it's called the hippopotamus rule. And so that is a very important rule. Next data sheet you have there has lengths and weights and times and all of that sort of thing on there, and you'll need to refer to that when doing some of the problems that we have coming up. Another sheet that you have with you is study sheet 1. Now study sheets are for the purposes of you taking notes on them, and these problems we'll be going over in class. So you can take notes as we go along, and as I'm teaching you'll have these in front of you so you can refer back to them later if you wish. Now, let's get started. Any questions so far? I guess it's pretty self-explanatory. Up at the top it says, there are 2 parts to this term, and we have 3 inches. This part, 3, tells how many, and is therefore called the numerator. A numerator is that which enumerates or tells how many, sometimes tells in what order. If it says the third person, third would be the numerator, telling what order it's in, and person is the denominator. Now the denominator is that which denominates. Webster's dictionary says for nominate means to name something. And so the denominator is the part that names something. So when we have 3 inches, 3 is the numerator, inches is the denominator. You can, we can go back and say the numerator comes from the same word we get numeral or number from. In Spanish, that's numero. And denominator comes from probably the same root word as the German word Namen, which is name, or the Spanish word nombre, which is name. You see, they're all similar and probably come from the same roots. So now you know what a numerator and denominator is. You thought it was something else before, probably. Now, so let's get started. We are adding 2 feet 4 inches and 3 feet 5 inches. Start with that number 1 on the study sheet there. 2 feet 4 inches, I'm just going to abbreviate that, plus 3 feet 5 inches. Board. Now we simply do our addition. 4 plus 5 is 9. So we have 9 inches. 2 plus 3 is 5 feet, and so we get 5 feet 9 inches. Pretty simple. But don't go home yet because you don't think you're going to learn anything. Let's take the next one. Number 2. 3 feet 7 inches and 4 feet 9 inches. Seven plus 9 is 16 inches. I'm going to write it over here. because 16 inches can be broken down into feet and inches, because there are 12 inches in a foot. And so therefore this is a foot, which is 12 inches. Take away a foot, it leaves 4 inches left. Right? So we'll put 4 inches down here and put an extra foot up here. Because this is inches place and this is feet's place or foot's place. And we've got to own, and why is it important to put that over in that column? Can anybody tell me?
Because it's the foot.
Yeah, but why do we have to just add feet and feet?
Because of the hippopotamus.
The hippopotamus rule, of course, which says you can only add and subtract like things you see. Apples to apples, oranges to oranges, bananas to bananas, and hippopotamuses to hippopotamuses. Very good. And that's what we call the hippopotamus rule. 4 and 3 are 7 and 1 is 8. So we get 8 feet 4 inches.